Thanks for joining us. I'm Carol Batchelor with your Lake Powell Life News Update for Wednesday. Today, we're in for more lovely autumn blue skies, sunshine. We'll get the full forecast from Travis in the next 15 minutes or so. A man overboard in the Bullfrog area over the weekend has since been identified. The multi-agency attempt at search and rescue proved fruitless just shortly before 2 p.m. Saturday. 41-year-old Daniel Patrick McGuckin from Avon, Colorado, presumed deceased after jumping off the port side of a houseboat to go swimming with friends at buoy marker 78 North on Lake Powell, located approximately 15 miles south of Bullfrog by Iceberg Canyon in King County, Utah. He was not wearing a life jacket. We'll share the full details of that story with you on lakepowelllife.com. Poverty in Arizona, a new report from the Annie E. Casey Foundation shedding some light this morning on the unique barriers that keep young parents and their children caught in cycles of poverty. Dana Wolf-Neymark, president and CEO of Children's Action Alliance, tells Lake Powell Life News millions of federal dollars for child care are available to Arizona, but just not being used.
Parents and grandparents and community members can ask the candidates, what are you going to do for young parents? What opportunities are you going to open for children growing up in young families? And really make sure they make a commitment before we give them our vote.
With tens of thousands of Arizona children who have parents 18 to 24, she says that's an issue of concern in this election year. Rosa Maria Castaneda with the Annie E. Casey Foundation tells Lake Powell Life News young parents nationwide face similar challenges, but she points out that enacting policies to assist these families helps two generations.
There are still 6 million young adult parents and their children, and very high rates of low-income status, very high rates of poverty for this population that we need to pay close attention to if we want to break the intergenerational cycle of poverty.
The Casey Foundation report showing that about 70% of children of young Arizona parents are living in low-income families, and they recommend state and federal policies to boost workforce and educational programs, expand access to tax credits for young parents, and increase investment in child care programs. The Secretary of the Interior, Ryan Zinke, was in Zion earlier this week to address the nearly $16 billion in maintenance backlog across our national parks, public lands, and Fish and Wildlife Services. Zinke was joined by Utah congressmen sponsoring a bipartisan bill to restore parks and public lands. H.R. 6510 would allocate federal energy funds to cover the maintenance costs. Zinke says about half the backlog is road repair. It's a surprising problem you might not have considered. Wall Street Journal reporting this morning, talking of alternative ways you can dispose of your prescription drugs before resorting to the option of flushing them. The Environmental Protection Agency estimated in 2015 that nursing homes across the country toss out about 740 tons of medications each year. EPA officials say the best way to get rid of your unwanted or expired prescriptions is via medication take-back events. Page Police Department held one at the Walmart parking lot during Memorial Day weekend. The Drug Enforcement Administration during that national take-back weekend received nearly 1 million pounds of drugs. Other methods include police departments and medication disposal boxes in pharmacies, and also envelopes that can sometimes be requested from the pharmacy so you can ship off the meds for incineration. The second gubernatorial debate between incumbent GOP Governor Doug Ducey and Democratic challenger David Garcia took place in Tucson yesterday. The two rivals squared off over border, education, and economy issues. Fact checkers of the debate say there were a few facts tossed out that were not exactly accurate. One by the governor about a drug tunnel at the southern border he visited, which his campaign manager corrected via email this morning, claiming Ducey misspoke in the debate by crediting the wrong founding agency. And a brand new music program for teens is kicking off right here in Page at the Community Center twice a week, a 2-hour workshop to help teens find the music within, give them a chance to explore whatever instrument they'd like to learn, and give them some experiences playing music with other musicians their own age. But there is limited space and some commitment expectations. Registration is required, but the program is free and the gear will be provided. Thanks for listening to 98.3 and 1340 The Bandit and 93.3 Jack FM. Remember, news, sports, and other information available on our free website, lakepowelllife.com.